This is your sign that you are allowed to enjoy all the moments of your life. Hi, my name is Catrin, and I'm doing a 30-day challenge where I'm going to be making a YouTube video reading from one of my tarot decks or one of my oracle decks, one card each day, and then talking about it. And I hope that it resonates for you. So today I'm going to be reading from a very special deck. It's called The Tarot of Mystical Moments, and it's by Catrin Welz-Stein. Tarot of Mystical Moments. Very beautiful, unique artwork that's really one of a kind. Combines the surrealist style with this dreamlike quality and just beautiful work on the cards. The deck itself has the silver lines on the silver edge, and it's just a beautiful deck to work with. So let's shuffle our deck. In the meantime, if you have not already, I would love for you to subscribe to this channel. It's a new channel, and I'm hoping to grow and just share some of these ideas and little insights. And I would love for you to subscribe, like the video if you like what you see, and share it with anyone that you think might find it interesting. Okay, so I think that's quite a bit of shuffling. And let's pick one of the cards. So the card for today is the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles, and this is the sixth card of the Pentacles suit. And each tarot deck has artwork. I like the non-traditional artwork, actually. There are other tarot decks that are based on a more traditional artwork scheme that's by the Rider-Waite system. I have several of those kinds of decks too, but this one is a non-traditional deck. So what that means is that the artwork is very unique, and it's a unique interpretation by the artist who has interpreted the original meaning of what this card would stand for in their own way. So in this case, this card is traditionally about generosity. It's about philanthropy. It's about giving. It's about charity in the best sense of the word, mutual aid. It's about helping others and also being helped. So it's about that circular way of human society, which has always been part of all cultures, where the idea of helping those who are less fortunate, helping those who are in need, is always held as a moral and virtuous good to be done. And this is what this card stands for. And in this particular artwork, you see these two women are drinking from a cup, and this teapot and the person who's standing on top of the spout, they're sort of doling out, what the each person needs, and then at some point, who's the giver and who's the receiver can switch, right? So there might be times when you are in the position of somebody who needs help, and there might be times when you're in a position of somebody who can give help. And both of those are part of the human social structures. Wherever you're from, culturally, socially, there's always a sense that a good society is one where there is a sense of responsibility for our fellow man, our fellow person, and also to other beings, to other animals as well. And I think that that's, this is one of the most interesting cards, because just before this card, the Five of Pentacles is about hard times, poverty, being left out in the cold. And then right after that is this card, which is about generosity and bringing people in, and that sort of spirit of giving and community and taking responsibility for the whole collective, in a way that it's like, if we all share a little bit, then nobody will be completely left out in the cold. And that's the kind of feeling that I get from this card. No matter which deck I read from, and like I said, different decks might have different interpretations of the same idea. One of the things that I've learned in my life is that there have been times in my life when I have just felt very insecure. I grew up pretty, on the poor side, but there have been times in my life when I've also had a lot of abundance. And there have been times in my life where I have felt very insecure about that and sort of held on to what I had. And then I have noticed that that always ends up blocking the energy of movement that is required for actual abundance, for actual sense of collective good fortune, or even good fortune for one's own family, one's own self. That can get stuck if you are the kind of person who hoards and who becomes somebody who doesn't have any responsibility for the collective good, for the people around you, whether it's, you know, people in your own household, or your neighbors, or your city, your community, or the world for that matter, or animals and other creatures. So the idea is that I have found that when I have been generous, there's always this movement that happens, and I always end up receiving even more blessing. And you shouldn't give for that reason, because I think the genuineness is very important. But the idea is that when you give to someone, if you have the ability to give, and it's not just about money, right? It's money is energy. It's a kind of way for humans to exchange energy. But there are other ways to give. You know, give of your time, give of your ability to listen to somebody, give of your volunteering if there's something you can do for, you know, the good of somebody who needs that, and of course financial help as well. But when you give, it unblocks an energy that allows for more blessings to come towards the giver, because it also allows you to be part of this human family and this system of giving and receiving. And it makes space in your life, you know. It literally can unblock space in your life so that new things can come in and take the place of the things that were just sitting there, you know. Especially if it's abundance that somebody is not sharing, it can become very stagnant. You know, there can be this sense of stagnancy. And, you know, I feel like that's a lesson that a lot of people could benefit from, wherein there might be a lot of times where we might not feel that we have something to give. And if that's the case, then again, your time, your energy, your ability to listen to somebody, really listen to somebody else's story, your ability to share your meal, your ability to lift, you know, give a helping hand if somebody needs some physical help, you know, those are all things that count. So if you can't give money, there's so many other ways. And when you give, you will get. That's the point, is that actually it's in the giving that we are also receiving, not just the good feeling of having given, but also literally making space in ourselves and in our lives and in our body and in our spiritual body, if you want to call it that, for blessings to come in. So I really believe this, and I've actually seen this happen over and over in my life, that the more, you know, miserly I get, the more things get stuck, and I end up sort of in this place of like inertia where, you know, you want to like hold on to what you have, and you're like, oh, I can't give this away, or I can't, this is all I have. And I understand that, you know, obviously we need to survive and pay our rent and stuff, but a lot of times that can spill over into this general sense of wanting to just shut down and shut off the world. And it's understandable, especially in a world that can seem to be very full of instability. But I still think that it becomes a self fulfilling thing where if everybody feels that insecure and everybody acts like that, then it becomes more unstable. And I think that there is a real need. You know, I live in Canada, and I feel like there's a real need for people to listen to each other, to help each other, to barter, you know, to find ways to be there for each other, genuinely be there for each other. And that's such a rare quality these days, to, you know, really be able to rely on others. It's a real gift that you can give to someone. And I just feel that that to me is what this card is about. And it also brings people together. If you notice, you know, the card just before this is often one or two people sort of out in the cold, huddled over, obviously not having a good time. And in these cards, in the charity and philanthropy and mutual aid card, the Six of Pentacles, these are usually about coming together and actually talking and actually sharing our, stories, sharing our whatever it is that we want to share, and listening to each other, because sometimes we might feel we're alone, but honestly, we're like all alone together, we're all in this alone together. So if we actually realize how many of us there are who feel that way, alone, alienated, isolated, we will realize we're actually not alone because we're all feeling that way, and we can share that. We can start with that. They're like, wow, you feel alone too, huh? That's weird. I do too, Or you feel like there's a lot of instability, insecurity in the world. Yeah, me too, And that can be a place to start, you know. And a lot of times I feel like we put on this air of like, I'm in control, everything is good, and that's fine. It's okay to like you need to do that to like get on with life, but we also have to be aware that at some point we have to be facing the other things too. And it's much easier to face them together. You know, where I'm from in South Asia, there's a saying that basically translates to um, happiness is multiplied by sharing, and sadness is divided by sharing. So when you have happiness and you share it with somebody, a happy celebration, happy news, a thought, a smile, a joke, whatever, it can enhance, it becomes more, it magnifies, it multiplies the happiness in the world. And if there's something sad and you share it with somebody, or somebody shares something with you that makes them sad, and you just acknowledge it, you just sit with it, you just validate that person's feeling. You don't have to fix it. Some things you can't fix, but just listening, that can divide, the sadness, so that each person feels less sad afterwards. So that's something to remember. Sharing is caring. If this has inspired you in any way, please share this video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I would love to hear from you if this has inspired you, and or if you're doing your own 30-day challenge, whether it's something you want to do or something you want to quit. Um, yeah, send me a note. I would love to hear from you, and I would love to find out if there's anything that moved you out of what I read today about generosity, the Six of Pentacles. So take care of yourself and take care of each other.